everyone, welcome to my channel, Kimbaskrafts. My name is Kim, and if this is your first time clicking on a video and stopping in to see me, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy what you hear and see. And if you're returning from a previous video, as always, thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We are here today for a whip and chat, and this is the second time I'm recording this intro because I forgot to press record. Okay, so no, this is the second time I'm doing this intro, not recording it, because if I recorded it the first time, I wouldn't be recording it again. So there you go. Yeah, a little play on words. So what I did was explain. Okay, what did I say? Okay, this is how these start. Okay. This is a whip and chat. This is one of my whips. So this is one of the current projects that I've been working on. Let me move everything out of the way so I can show you. I didn't do this in the first one, so learn something new every day. This is what I've completed so far on this gorgeous project. This is from the company Neurologist. Don't mind that. There's a severe weather thunderstorm warning out, and yeah. I'm not going to stop recording because this is the first time I pressed record in a week. So we're going to keep on. We're going to power through this thunderstorm. Okay, so this is from the company Neurologist. It is called Dom to Stay Lion. It is a gorgeous, totally cute canvas. I did an unboxing. I did a oh, I'm looking for the thumbnail, but it's up here. It's not on the bottom, it's up here. Let's see if I can bring it up to you guys. Look how cute. So it's called Dom to Stay Lion. It's from the artist Laura Philippon and the company Neurologist. I'm doing it in rounds, okay? And this is my setup. So you get a little peek at how I diamond paint. I have this is an A2 light pad that I have my canvas clipped onto. I have a desk timer that I got off of Amazon. Anything I show you on this video, I will link below if you're curious. I have this trinket tray, and it is from the company Leopard Leatherworks that I won at the retreat that I went to in June. In the trinket tray, I leave like my pen cutter, little things that fit in here. I'll put my pen in here too when I'm done. I have my washi tape, pair of scissors, tweezers. I am using a Bella Art Essential tray. Actually, I have, if I can find it real quick, I'll bring it over. Yes, I can. This one too. This is a larger version of this one. So yeah, I really like these trays. So I'm going to use these two trays to diamond paint with. I have a Sex Plus Says Tours pen. It's a French company. I think I might be saying that somewhat right, but isn't it gorgeous? I love this pen. It's so pretty. I will link their Facebook group below. That's how you you bid for them. It's not hard. They'll list like all the ones, and they give you 7 hours to put the number of the one you want. And let's just say it's, you know, A3. You want A3. So you put A3 in the comment, and everyone who put A3 gets picked out of a lottery, and they tell whoever won A3. That's how it works. So I've won three or four pens from them. Some people will put in like 10 different pens that they like because they're hoping they get one. So it's a very cool, and they're all different. Every one of them's different. They give you 7 hours to bid on it. So I'll put a link to their Facebook group below. I also have my, this is my trash drill tray. It's from my friend Gloria. She made this for me. It mimics my peanut lid. I used to use a peanut lid, so she knew the size, the depth, and everything that I like, and I really like this. So it's Christmas, but I use it all year round. This is my duckbill pen and my duckbill clip, and I just use it to pop open my Elizabeth Ward tray That's the storage system that I'm using. It is being held up on with, it's being held up with this like laptop or light pad tray. So they're on a slant and I can just pull them out. And then here's my sparklers. These in the bags are all from DpwithSparklers. This 5200 one is leftovers from a Craftably kit that I think it's Craftably, that I pulled out. So I'm using 948 for actually 951. And then I'm using 900 crystal for 900. I'm using 498 pixie dust for 498. I'm using 353 AB for 353. And I'm using 3712 AB for 3712. And then 5200 for 5200. So those are the enhancements that I've been doing. I am using the Orlo washi tape that comes in every single kit. And the first one, I saw this little itty bitty bug crawling across my drills. It looked like he was like climbing mountains. It was kind of funny. Oh my goodness. I keep getting distracted. There's like a hair in here that's really bothering me. I gotta get it out now. But yeah, this little bug, he was like, he thought he was, you know, in the Alps. He was like, do, 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 do. I caught him in a piece of washi. I'm like, I'll save you, buddy. Oh no, I'm sorry. All right, so that's all the things. That's what I'm using. And so we're doing a whip and chat. This is one of my whips. This is one of my work in progresses. It has been on my table since June. I haven't worked on this particular project since before I left for the Great Lakes Escape. What is it called? Retreat. And that was all the way in June. That was on June 26th that I went ahead and went on that retreat. And so yes, I haven't worked on this since June 26th or thereabouts. You know, probably June 24 or something along those lines. Because I came back from the retreat with the Bella Art Diamonds that I went ahead and finished. And yeah, I still have to record a post review for you guys on that one. I'm really looking forward to talking about it. But my life has been so hectic. And if you work 5 days a week and you hate me, I don't blame you, because I'm off 5 days a week and I only work 2. And I'm, oh,
look at the lightning. It's like insane. Every 2 seconds there's lightning.
Ready? This is my daughter. She's just scared me, and now she's trying to scare me more. Ooh.
Literally watch. Every 2 seconds. Isn't that terrifying? It's so bright.
Is Adam sleeping?
Yeah, he's spending the night. He decided to.
Yeah, good, good. I don't want him out in this weather with that. Oh, look at that, with that card. Can you guys see the lightning? Wait, I want to see when it goes off again, if it shows in the camera.
Here, let me go.
Let's see if you guys can see it. No, you can't. Well, I don't think they can see it, but I'm gonna turn the camera. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Ooh.
That one was big.
That was a big one. Severe thunderstorm warning. I told you guys. Oh man. It's getting loud.
Excuse me.
All right, I'm gonna turn the lights back on. Hold on, I'm gonna fix you guys. All right. My daughter scared me. Okay, so this is the square we're doing. I'm sorry, it is that is loud, but I mean, I don't know when else I'm gonna have time to record. Like, now I gotta worry about my girlfriend driving home in this. I think that's a little bright. Let me see. If my girlfriend calls on her way home, I might have to stop and pick that up. Okay? You guys understand. Whoops, sorry. I literally am trying to shuffle over and I just keep moving back. Okay. All right, let's pick out a color and start diamond painting. Oh my goodness, that is so loud. That's like louder than if I had a lawnmower outside. It's like I should be working on one of my wizards. Woo. All right, we're gonna go with the dark one. I always like to do the dark ones first. So I hope everybody's having a good week. I've had an interesting start to my week so far. First of all, I had my first ever colonoscopy today. Yes, which is why I'm not doing this until this hour. It's not really that late. It's 9 o'clock at night. But for me anymore, that's kind of late because normally I've been going to bed at that time. I've just been so tired. Now, I said this before, whenever I haven't worked on rounds for a little bit, I feel like I have to relearn how to work on them. And I might have to change. So this is Joy's putty, and it lasts a very long time, but it has been sitting around since June 25th to June 24th, being unused. So I might have to go ahead and change it out. I feel like I might have to do that. But so yeah, I had my first ever colonoscopy today. So yesterday I just finished up the little bit left I had on my Sunday morning in spring for the week, and I posted that. And then I had to start my prep. Okay, so I work Saturday and Sunday nights, guys, right? And I worked into Monday morning, and I had to start my prep Monday. So I went to sleep. I came home. I took a shower. I was in bed by 8:30. I woke up at 2 o'clock, and then I did some diamond painting and, you know, whatever. And I had to start my prep. I had to start it at 6 o'clock. So I started my prep. And honestly, I thought, I've never had a colonoscopy before. But Bob just had one. He just had one last month or something. And he started his prep around the same time. And he didn't start having to go to the bathroom until he was a little nervous. He was like, I still feel nothing. We had different preps. We had different doctors. And so they gave us different preps. And I started drinking my prep, and I just assumed, because my husband didn't have to start going to the bathroom until like 10 o'clock at night. And same with my girlfriend. My girlfriend just had one last month, and she said that she was like, I hope I'm going to be cleared out because I still haven't started going to the bathroom yet. And it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, oh, you should be fine. That's how Bob's was too. So I'm thinking that's how they are. Well, no, not for everyone, not for me. Because I started drinking that prep, and I was on the toilet by, I started it at 6 o'clock. I was on the toilet by, I don't know, 6:30. I was like, I already have to go to the bathroom. But here's the good thing, guys. I was asleep by 9 o'clock. I went to bed at 9 and I slept because I was on the toilet from 6:30 to 9 o'clock. And so 9 o'clock, I went to bed. And I slept until I had to wake up and drink more of the prep, which was at 3 in the morning. So 3 o'clock in the morning, my alarm went off. I drank more of the prep, and I was finished drinking it by 4:15. And I was back to sleep by 5 o'clock, and then I slept till 8. Like, I slept a lot, but I was still very tired. You know, I think it's because I was so dehydrated and you know, had nothing in me. I couldn't eat all day. You know, I just had some Jello and a lot of juice, so I was like super dehydrated. Guys, I'm so thirsty talking about this. Hold on a second. All right, I just got a glass of water, because let me tell you, I was really thirsty just there. Talking about this, I've been so thirsty today. I am gonna change out this putty. I've been so thirsty today that I had a dream that. In my dream, obviously, I was thirsty. And so I went to the water. I think I was at work. I was at work, and I went to the water fountain. And I had this like big, this is how I take the wax out. I just use a tweezer. I had this big cup. It was an Eagles cup. And I don't know where I found it from or whatever, but I was like, I'm thirsty. So I start filling it up with ice and water. And I got this straw, and I put the straw in it. And I'm walking around, and I'm trying to drink out of the straw, and the straw's broken. And you know, when a straw's broken, you're just getting air. So I'm just getting air. And I don't know why I could not drink from the cup, but apparently in this dream I couldn't, because I just kept trying to make the straw work. And I was like talking to someone, and I was like, yeah, I'm so thirsty and this straw is broken. Because, you know, if I was able to drink from the cup, I would have gotten water, and that's not, you know, in real life, I was just extremely thirsty, so that wouldn't have made sense. So yeah, in my dream, I just kept complaining about the straw and trying to make the straw work, and I just kept getting air. And then someone was like, oh my God, that's my cup. And I was like, it is? Oh, well, I'm sorry. I saw it in the kitchen, and yeah, I was really thirsty, so yeah, I'm using it right now. And they're like, I posted about that on Facebook. And I'm like, oh yeah? Well, I found it for you. And I washed it too. As I'm trying to make this straw work. Yeah, I woke up and I was like, I need water. Oh my God. My dreams are so stupid. So anyway, yeah, anytime I start thinking about how dehydrated I was. Look at my, okay. Can you see that? Probably not. Let me see. Can you see this big vein popping out? Yeah, and there's, you see the little hole? That's where she put the IV in. But I was like, this is a good vein. And it wasn't popping out. And I was like hanging it over the stretcher, trying to get it to pop out. I'm like, I'm sorry, they usually pop out. Like, it usually pops out all the way up here. And she's like, yeah, not today. And I'm like, no, not when you're, you know, peeing both ways. I'm just saying. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You did this to me, not me. So, yeah. But anyway, she got it. She got the IV. One shot, boom. So it was good. My colonoscopy was good. She said I don't have to come back for, I'm using Joy's Putty in Plumeria. Plumeria, only because it was just sitting there. I was using Plumeria for fairy friends, and this is what it looks like. It's got little sparkles in it, which is super cute. But for me, I don't care if it's just white. I thought that was a hair. Is this a hair? No. Okay, I'm going crazy. Just, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but you just stab it like that. And it's probably not enough. It is really raining out there. My daughter apparently likes to watch storms. I didn't know this. So I go out to get water and like the door's open. I can hear the rain. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm watching the storm. Come watch with me. And I'm like, no. I know some people like that. But no, I'd rather diamond paint. Okay, I hope, if you don't use enough, then it doesn't work as well. If you use too much, then it doesn't work as well. I mean any putty, I don't just mean Joy's. Okay. All right, let's get this party started. Okay. So, yeah, colonoscopy, she came back, she talked to me, she said, everything looks good. I don't have to come back for 10 years. I'm like, awesome, because I don't want to do that again anytime soon. So I was very happy with that. Well, that and the fact that, you know, that meant everything was okay. So I did that today. And then I came home. And, you know, Mogie is Bob's dog. Soju was my dog. And I miss my dog. I miss her so much. I came home and I opened up Moogie's crate and she was like looking for Bob. But like Soju would have known something, like she would have known that, you know, I just had something done, and she would have like laid down next to me, and you know, she would have slept with me all day because she wouldn't have wanted to leave my side. I miss her. But Mogie, you know, she's not a snuggler. I realized I'm a needy person, I guess. I guess I didn't think that of myself. But I think I am a little needy. Like, I'm like always in Moogie's face, like, love me, love me. Like, I'll lay down, when she's sleeping, I'll lay down next to her and I'll be like, you love your mommy. You want to hug your mommy. Trying to do subliminal messages in her brain. I'm trying to brainwash her. Mommy's number one. But it doesn't work. She wakes up and she looks for Bob. I'm just like, okay, fine. So I told Bob, I need my own emotional support dog. And he's like, you're crazy. I'm like, see? I need an emotional support dog. You're just proving my point. Like, I agree with you. I don't know. I miss her, though. Because she literally would have laid with me all day. You know, and, like, checking on me and stuff. But I don't have that anymore. I meant to tell you guys, I went to the neurologist and I got the trigger point injections. I know I said that to you, but I think that they really, really helped. And you know, I can go once a month, and I scheduled a decent amount of months out. I think there was only 1 month that didn't have an opening. So I have every month up until December scheduled, except for I think September. So I go back this month, and then I go back in August, and then I think September there wasn't anything. I can check when I go back. So it, I think, definitely helped. It made everything like less tense, and I haven't had a migraine, but I have been getting a lot of headaches. I think I'm due for it again. Like, I think I could use it again. It didn't like hurt me in any way as far as working out or lifting. And I asked her about that. Like, I said, you know, in terms of lifting weights, am I just gonna like ruin it when I go to lift the first time? And she said no. And I said, is it gonna make it hard for me to lift? And she's like, no, I think it'll make it better because you'll have more range of motion and stuff. And I think she was right. But and the lifting didn't hurt it, I don't think, because it did last for a while. But I do feel like I could use it again. So I had to take a Nurtec today because I had a bad headache during the prep, and we didn't have any Tylenol, and I kept Googling, like, the only thing that I could take was Tylenol. Like, all we had was Aleve. You know, you can't take any NSAIDs. I had the indomethacin, I had Aleve, I had ibuprofen, but you can't take any NSAIDs because, you know, for the risk of bleeding during a colonoscopy. You're not supposed to take any for, I think, a minimum of 3 days, but they like a week. And so I couldn't take anything I had, and I kept Googling, like, can you take Nurtec? Because the headache, every time I woke up, it was like pounding. And I couldn't, and it just kept saying, yes, you can take most of your prescription meds, but it didn't specify, like, specifically Nurtec. So I was afraid to take it. Like, I don't know, I couldn't find where it specifically said, yes, Nurtec was okay. So I was afraid to take it, so I didn't take anything, and I just had this headache. And then when we were driving there, I got car sick because Bob was driving. And if I don't drive, then I tend to get car sick. And I was just like, oh, get me out of this car. And see how needy I am? Gosh. So anyway, of course, when they're asking me pre-op, they're like, do you have any pain? No. Do you have a headache? I was like, nope, because I'm not going through this again. I'm going to tell them, and I don't advise you to do this. Don't do this. But I was like, whatever you need to hear for me to get this thing today. And I was just hoping that, you know, when I got the sedation and all, I would wake up and I wouldn't have a headache. And nope, I did. I woke up with a headache. So when I came home, I took a Nurtec. Actually, I didn't take it when I first got home. I went back to sleep because, again, I just had all that medicine in me and I was scared. So I went back to sleep, and then when I woke up, my head was pounding, like my whole head was pounding. So then I took a Nurtec. So I need to get some Tylenol. I have Excedrin migraine in my work bag, which is Tylenol, but it also has aspirin in it, which is an NSAID. So I couldn't take that either. It's a blood. We all know that's a blood thinner. So there was literally nothing I could take. Anyway, colonoscopy's done, off my plate. I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I'm sorry, I just feel very full because I guess, you know, I was completely empty and I had dinner. Oof. hard time breathing. Anyway. Oh yeah, the trigger point. How did I get on this? Oh yeah, headaches. Okay, so my headaches, I have been taking a lot of headache medicine. It's a pain in the butt. And my Nurtec was approved, but when I went to the pharmacy, they said they don't have anything about it. But then I was like, okay, well, I got a text saying that it was approved. And she was like, well, then we have to have something about it because we're the ones that would send it out. And I'm like, okay. So I don't know what to do with that. Like, they didn't give me. And honestly, Bob and Mogie were waiting in the car. So I was just like, okay, well, just give me what you have because I got to go. So I have to call this week and find out about it. But anyway, what I wanted to tell you guys was that I ended up crying at my trigger point injection appointment, and not because of what you're thinking. Like, it was painful. It was pretty painful. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be that painful because I can tolerate needles, but she was like in my skull, like in the skull, and you know, and when she hit a knot, oh my God, I could tell because it burned when it went in a knot. And when she hit where my biggest knot is, the one that bothers me like the most, it just was like this huge burning sensation. It was crazy. But afterwards, she said, you know, take your time, you know, you might feel a little funny, blah, blah, blah. And I did. I, like, my nips, no, my lips were numb. I was trying to say numb in lips. So my lips were numb, and, like, not fully numb, but they were tingly. Like, my face was tingly. It was weird. And I was really dizzy. I tried to stand up, and I was like, okay, yeah, I don't feel right. So she's like, yeah, here's some water. Just take your time, whatever. So I was just sitting there, and I brought a light gray t-shirt, and I was afraid to put it on because I didn't know if I was bleeding out of all these holes she just poked in my back. You know what I'm thinking? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm alone in the room right now, right? And I'm thinking, probably not a good idea to have worn a light gray shirt. Like, I don't want, you know, 30 blood marks on my shirt as I'm walking around. So I'm just sitting there wondering if I should put my shirt on or not. And then she comes back in to check on me, and I don't have my shirt on. So she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, can I get dressed, or am I bleeding? I don't know. She's like, oh no, you're not bleeding, you're fine. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I was just afraid to get blood all over my shirt. And she's like, no, you can get dressed. So I got dressed, and I think during the injections, during the injections, I asked her what nationality she was, and she said Korean, and I thought she was Korean. And I said, I thought so. And she's like, what are you? And I said, I'm half Korean. And she's like, oh. And then, of course, you know, they always ask you, can you speak Korean? And I'm like, shamefully, like, no, I'm sorry, I can't speak Korean. You know, and then she's like, oh, who's Korean? I tell her my mom. And then when I went, after I put my shirt on, I came out, and I went to check out. I didn't know if I had to do anything. I wasn't sure. And so I went up to the front desk, and the doctor comes over, and she starts asking me questions about it. And she's like, so where's your mom from in Korea? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. It's like this really small village. I said, nobody lives there anymore. It's like, in the mountains. And she was like really shocked by this. So my mom lived in a, I'll have to find out the name of it, but she told me when I was younger, she told me that the name meant prison in Korean because it was like between two mountains. Like, I guess she was in a valley kind of. And they were so far from anything. They like named it like the word for prison. And nobody lives there now. Like, it's abandoned because it's so far from any civilization. I don't know if I told you guys the story about my dad, like the first time he ever went to meet her parents there. If I didn't, I'll tell you. I am so uncomfortable. Hold on. All right. Whew. What is this? I'm trying to think. Okay. 900. Okay. Man, I am, oh, no, there are more of them. I like drank so much water. I just felt so full. I just had to like sit back for a second. Oh man, I'm a mess. Anyway, so she's asking me about like my mom and where she was from. And I was telling her, you know, it's a very far, remote village. Like, nobody lives there. It's completely abandoned now. And she was like, oh, how old's your mom? And I told her, you know, my mom was born in like 52. And she was kind of surprised. She was like, oh, they had like remote places back then? I thought everything was pretty much like built up. And I was like, yeah, she was like farm country. Like, you know, when people tell you those stories, I had to walk 5 miles to school. Like, she was one of those people, but it was real. I had to walk a mile to school. I'm just saying, in kindergarten, and I told my kids that, and I actually did tell them in that voice. I'm like, well, when I was your age, I had to walk. They're like, they didn't believe me because I was using that voice, but I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, my pop-up clocked it on his odometer. Like, he wanted to know how far I was walking to school. You know, me being 5 years old, he was curious. And he was like, you know, you walk a mile to school every day? I'm like, oh yeah? I walk a mile home too. Yeah, I was always like this. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, no, she was like really far up there. I was like, in fact, so I tell her the story of my dad. I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but if I did, I'm sure there's plenty of people who haven't heard it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you again. And this is how it goes. And true story, people. My dad, when he went to meet my mom's parents, you know, she lived in the city. She moved out into the city. And my mom's parents, my grandparents, still lived in the country, in the home, in the village. And so he wanted to go meet her dad, and he wanted to ask for her hand in marriage. And so she told her parents that they were coming, and they sent her 2 older brothers to come meet them on the side of the mountain, because it was so remote. Like, the taxi couldn't take you directly to her village. He would drop you off on the side of the mountain and make you walk. Well, not make you, but you would have to walk the rest of the way because there was no road. And it was 2 miles away. So my dad didn't know this, right? So they're taking a taxi up the side of the mountain, and he was telling me this story, and he was like, you know, it's just like this little road on the side of the mountain. They're going up this road, and all of a sudden he stops, and her 2 brothers are there. And, you know, they get out and they meet him, And, you know, the taxi driver starts to open up the trunk, and he's like, my dad's like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we're getting your luggage. And he's like, well, you know, they're on the side of a mountain, and he's looking around, and he's like, well, where's the village? And my mom tells him, like, 2 miles that way. And he was like, he's like, well, why aren't they getting in? Like, he was like, why aren't they getting in the taxi to her brother's? He's like, there's room for them. They can get into the taxi. Like, he still didn't understand. Like, he thought it was because they didn't want to make them walk alone. And she's like, no, the taxi can't. There's no road. The road ends. This is as far as cars can go. And she's like, and he's like, oh, no. I'm not walking 2 miles with this luggage. He was like, no. So my mom says that he insisted that, you know, her brothers get in the taxi, and he made the taxi driver drive them, right? And they kept telling my dad, like, he's not going to be able to go all the way. He's going to get stuck. And my dad kept saying, no, he won't. We'll get there. Come on, you'll see. And he made them all get in the taxi, and they start driving, and the road ends, and he ends up getting stuck in the sand. And then, like, my dad and her brothers had to push him out of the sand, and then they had to walk the rest of the way anyway. So I was telling her this story, like, you know, it was that remote, and she was, like, really, really surprised. And she's like, oh, so your dad met her in the city? And I said, yeah. So I start telling her the story of, like, you know, how my parents met. And I was like, and I start telling her about how my mom had to come to America alone. So the story of my mom coming to America is that they got married at the Army base. And after they were married, when my dad was being shipped home, they actually made her come first, and he wasn't allowed to come with her. So it's really kind of cruel. Like, she couldn't speak any English. She's never left the country before. She's never flown before. And they made her go first, right? So my dad and so I'm telling this story to I'm not just telling to the doctor. At this point, the entire front desk, which consisted of, like, the nurse's aide who took my blood pressure and everything, she was there, and there are, like, 3 receptionists. So it's like 5 or 6 people at the front desk, and I'm telling this story, and I start crying, guys, because I cannot talk about emotional things without getting upset. And I don't know why, but I've told this story like 100 times, but I was very emotional. I mean, to the point where they had to give me tissues, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm crying. I was like, it was a mess. And I was like, I had to keep stopping because I couldn't get the words out because I was so upset. And it's a beautiful story, and I don't know why I got so emotional. So I'm going to try to tell it now, and I think I'll be okay. I feel like I'll be okay. So my dad was not allowed to go with my mom. My mom had to come to America alone. And so, you know, he had arranged it with my grandparents. Like, they knew he gave them all the flight information, and they lived in New Jersey. And, you know, they knew when she was landing and when to pick her up and all that stuff. So they were going to get her from the airport for my dad, and she was going to stay with them. So she had to meet her American in-laws by herself in a new country by herself. Like, how cruel is this, right? So, I mean, my mom, like, is brave when you think about all the things. Like, I couldn't imagine. So, yeah, and he gave her a letter, right? So she had to fly from, a lot of times when you fly from or to Korea, from the East Coast, they take you to Seattle, and then you stop off at Seattle, and you do a layover there, and then, you know, you get on another plane and you go to Korea. So she had a layover in Seattle, and he had written a letter, and he put it in her pocket, and he said to her, if you get lost and you don't know what to do, he said, give this letter to someone who looks kind. So she's at the Seattle airport, and she got lost, and she couldn't read the signs. She couldn't speak English. Now, this is back in the 1970s, so, you know, it's not as user-friendly as it is nowadays, where there's a lot of different, like, languages in different places and stuff. Like, yeah, none of that was happening back then, right? And so she got lost in the airport. She didn't know where she was going, and this man saw her, and he came up to her, and he asked her, are you okay? And so I guess because he seemed like he cared and he seemed kind, she gave him the letter, and it said, you know, my name is, and it said my dad's name. My name is Robert, and I am a U.S. soldier, and I am currently stationed in Korea. This is my wife. If you're reading this letter, please help her. I told her to give this letter if she got lost. And then he wrote, I am kind of getting emotional, but he wrote on there, like, here are my parents' phone numbers. Here's my parents' phone number. This is the flight she's supposed to get on in Seattle. Like, he wrote down all the information and said, please help her get home. And so he took her to the front desk, and it turned out she had missed her flight. And so he helped her rebook a new flight. He called my grandparents, and he told them, you know, that he found her and she was lost, and that he had to book her a new flight, and he gave them the new flight information. And then she told me he took me to a stand, and he bought her a hot dog. And yeah, so she was able to make it home because of this Good Samaritan who, you know, she gave this letter to. And I was just saying how awesome it was of my dad. And then I was like, you know, it probably was common practice for these guys to do something like that. Like, you know, they probably all knew to give their wives, you know, if they married overseas, a letter to help them get home. So I told her that story, and I was like, I was blubbering, guys. I was like a blubbering fool. I was like, and then she got her a hot dog, and I was like, I don't know why I'm so emotional. I don't know if it was the trigger point injection. I don't know what it was, but like, I was just a mess. It was embarrassing, and they were like, no, it's good. And when I was done, I look up, and like every single person behind the desk was sitting there listening to the story. And then when I was done, you know, the doctor was like, oh, you know, it was so nice meeting you, and thank you for the story. And then I look at the receptionist. She's like, yeah, you don't need to do anything. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And I'm like walking to the elevator, and I had like tears in my eyes. I should bring my mom to my next trigger point. My next trigger point appointment, so she can talk to her in Korean and explain to her about her village or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of cool though. But I don't know what it was about me that I could not get it together. So yeah, last week I spent just like a couple hours in this room. I was able to did I do 1 or 2 videos last week? I think I recorded more than I actually diamond painted. So this week I'm definitely going to get in here more. And, you know, last week I was spending a lot of time. Oh, we took Mogie to the beach for the first time. So this was my week last week. Okay, guys. So Monday I slept because I worked Saturday, Sunday, and then I got up and I went to the gym, and then after the gym I went and grabbed Mogie from daycare. Then Tuesday was when Mogie was acting sick, remember? And then we had that emergency vet visit. We took her to the vet, and then she was acting fine. By the time all of that was done, it was like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I actually just ended up going to bed early. I think Bob had to work that night, and I went to bed early. Wednesday, something happened on Wednesday. What did we do Wednesday? Wednesday is when no, Bob didn't have to work that night. I had to go to bed early because we took her to the beach, and we went early because we wanted to be down there when it wasn't super sunny and hot, because it's been hot. It's been like really hot around here. So we actually left at like 6:30 in the morning, I think, for the beach. And I'll put a couple pictures here of her on the beach. So she's awesome to travel with. She was awesome on the beach, but she was scared of the water. She was scared. It was very rough out, and she was terrified of the waves. A couple times she got her feet wet, and Bob kept trying to entice her to like go just like wade in the water, but she was even scared to do that, really. She would be standing there, and if the waves came up to her paws, she would run away. So we're definitely going to try to get her out there more so that we could maybe, you know, get her less afraid. You know, maybe she's just not going to be a water dog. I don't know. You know, we're hoping that we're introducing her early enough that she'll like it, but so far she's been pretty hesitant around all water. And then afterwards, oh yeah, and she was barking at everyone on the beach. It was weird. She was like, we couldn't understand it because she never barked at anyone in the neighborhood, but every person she saw on the beach, she barked at, even if they were far away from us. Like, she would bark at them. And that's just not, she's never acted like that in our neighborhood. So I don't know if it was just the stress of her being in a new environment that she felt nervous around. So Bob was like, you know, he was kind of nervous because he's like, you know, I hope she doesn't start doing this because then, you know, we can't take her places. So we, I said, well, there's a restaurant, because I've been saying I want to try her at a restaurant, right? I said, there's a restaurant literally 2 minutes up the road that says that, you know, you can eat outside with a dog. So we went there for lunch, and she was awesome. I'll put a video in here of her at the restaurant. Yeah, so you just saw that video, and she was just chilling, just totally cool. Everyone came up to, of course, I told you, everyone's had a Rottweiler. So we had 2 servers because it was very early, and nobody, I guess, like, they didn't have a lot of customers. One brought us drinks, you know, we only had sodas or whatever, and then the other one, and so the one came up, and she was like, oh, my parents had a Rottweiler when I was growing up, and she was so awesome. Like, everybody's had a Rottweiler. So she was petting her, everyone was petting her, and she didn't bark at all. Like, once we got off the beach, we were walking towards the restaurant, like, everybody stopped to pet her. she didn't bark at anybody. So I think it was just the fact that she was a little stressed. Maybe she was warning everyone, like, don't come down here, it's dangerous. I don't know. But yeah, it was interesting. And her bark is so deep, guys. Like, it is very deep. Her growl is scary. Like, it's very deep. So I feel like she is starting to come into some protective, like, instincts. It's like a light switch went off this past week. I told Bob, I said, she's definitely a little different. Like, and so I had her the one night when he had to work. I was trying to wear her out, and so I was walking her. My girlfriend stopped by, so that was another thing. My girlfriend came over after the beach. My girlfriend came over. Actually, Bob didn't have to work. He went to bed early because we got up early, went to the beach. My girlfriend came over. She's my Korean girlfriend, and I've known her since I think we were in 7th or 8th grade. And she tells everyone, she was telling my daughter, your mom was my first American friend. And so she came over that evening, like around dinner time, to meet Mogie for the first time. And yeah, when she was leaving, you know, it was dusk. So I was like, well, I'm gonna walk her after you leave. So I walked my friend out, and then Mogie and I start taking a walk. Well, by the time we made it all the way around the block and came back, it was a little darker, of course. And the neighbor that's catty corner to us, we've never met or talked to, they were rolling their trash cans out to the curb. It was the night before trash pickup, and she could see the figure and hear the trash can being pulled, and she like looked up, and then next thing I know, she's like, woof. I mean, I jumped. I was not expecting it. And it was so deep. I was like, whoa. I jumped and I was like, it's okay. So yeah, she's definitely starting to like kind of come into like a little bit of a protective like trait that's starting to show itself. But she loves people, guys. Like, she's extremely friendly. She loves people more than she likes other dogs. Like, if somebody's walking a dog, she wants to meet the person first. She'll go up to the person, meet the person, and then she'll like sniff the dog. But she loves people more than she likes anything else. And so, you know, we're continuing to socialize her, continuing to have her around new, different environments, so that, you know, they told us, like, if you want to take her to like busy functions and stuff, then you want to start doing that now. So every third Thursday, there's a food truck festival in the main street near the town we are at. So we're going to take her. This Thursday is the third Thursday. So we're going to take her and walk her up and down that main street, just so she can be around, you know, a busy environment. So that was Wednesday. So Tuesday, we rushed her to the vet. Wednesday, we went to the beach early, and then my friend came over to meet her. Thursday, what happened Thursday? Maybe I didn't do anything Thursday, but I feel like I did. Oh, Thursday we took her to a park that had a lake, and then we took her to this place that you can eat ice cream outside. So yeah, we like, again, we're trying to socialize her a lot. And then that evening I took her to PetSmart And, you know, we walked around there. I let her pick out a toy. I got some more canned food and did things like that. And then Friday, Bob and I had, my stepdad organized a bowling event for one of the hospitals near us. He's like the head organizer of fundraisers for this hospital. And yeah, we went there to support him in this hospital. And I am horrible at bowling. I started to get good, like not good, but like I started to kind of figure it out. And of course, when I started to figure it out, like it was $20. It was not bad. It was $20 to bowl as much as you can from 7 to 9. And they opened the pool tables to everyone. We didn't play pool, we just bowled. And they had a raffle and they had door prizes. We actually won a door prize with our entry ticket, and it was a gift certificate to Cheesecake Factory. And then what else did they have? Free snacks for everyone. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I said to Bob, we should bowl more often, but I was getting very competitive. I'm a very competitive person, and like I was pretty bad in the beginning, and then I was having my best game, and then right at 9 o'clock we were in the middle of my best game. I think I had the highest score on the board out of my whole team, and they just shut it down. Like the lights came on and the computers went off, and it was like, and I'm like, oh man. Bob's like, when they said 9 o'clock, they meant 9 o'clock. I'm like, sabotage. So I was like, we gotta come bowling. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. My stepdad is part of a bowling league. Like, he loves the bowl. But he hasn't been able to because of this foot wound that he had. But it's healing. It's almost completely healed. And the doctor actually said you can go bowling, but he wants to give it a little more time. So he said he's going to wait till the last 2 weeks in August. And then those 2 weeks he's going to take to practice with his buddy, because the bowling league starts in September. So he didn't bowl, but he was there, you know, running everything. Yeah, it was really nice. It was nice to get out. It was nice to do something different. And then that was Friday, and then I had to come to work. So this week so far, I had prep yesterday, my prep for my colonoscopy, and then I had my prep, and then I have then today I had my colonoscopy, and tomorrow we're meeting Bob's daughter and her boyfriend at the park with breakfast sandwiches with the dog. So we're going to take the dog to the park and let her run around and get her tired. But we also, guys, we had to take her to the vet again. So she has some kind of rash on her, and it's like crusty, and I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's, so when I took her to PetSmart and I got more canned food, I got her the variety pack of canned food. It was beef and chicken. And she's only ever had chicken. So I'm like, is it a food allergy? Another thing that we started was I got a Kong that day, and we put peanut butter in it, and we've been freezing it, and she loves that. Oh my God, she loves that. So I did that. I put peanut butter in it and I froze it, and I told my son, who came over Friday and played with her and watched her while we were at this bowling thing, I told him, listen, if she, you know, starts to get rammy and you don't know what to do with her, go ahead and give her that Kong, because she's never had it before, and I'm sure she'll love you for it. So he did. He gave it to her right before we got home, and she was so obsessed with it. She was licking it. And Bob went to bed, and then she was walking around with it crying because she ran out of the peanut butter on it. And I said to her, she had it, and then she had it on the floor, and I put my hand out and I said, bring it to mommy. And she picked it up and she brought it over to me, and my son was like, bruh, that was so cool. I mean, she literally, like, it was like she 100% knew what I said. She just picked it up and then just came over and put it in my hand. And I dug out the rest of the peanut butter, because you know how it's stuck on the walls, and I fed it to her. And then I gave it to her. I was like, it's all done, no more. And then she just walked around with it crying because she wanted more peanut butter. So that was Friday night. Sunday morning after work, she, you know, she comes up to me when I get out of the car. She's crying, like so happy to see me. I feel something on her leg, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like moving the hair away, and it's like a crusty sore. It's like a sore. And I'm like, look at this. And then I feel another one. I feel two of them on her leg, right? And I'm showing Bob. And it almost looks like it could have been like 2 fang marks from another dog. So we were like, maybe she got bit at daycare, and that's what, you know, that's why she didn't feel well the next day. So I honestly thought maybe she got bit. Well, then yesterday I gave her another Kong of peanut butter, and today, this morning, I'm like petting her and I feel it all on her back. And I'm like, oh my God, Bob, she's got more of that stuff on her back. And he's like petting her. And it was just like along her spine. I said, I think we should call the vet. He said, well, let's just wait and see what happens. You know, and then we were talking and we were like, maybe it's the peanut butter, because I gave her the peanut butter on Friday. And then, you know, it probably happened Saturday and we found it Sunday. And I looked it up and it said they could get rashes and you know, sores or whatever. And then we gave it to her yesterday, and then she has this on her today. He's like, so maybe it's the peanut butter. And then he's like, let's just not give her any more of the canned beef. We'll switch her back to the chicken. And let's stop giving her the peanut butter and see if it goes away. So I was like, okay. Well, then after my colonoscopy, you know, I come home and I'm laying on the floor with her and I'm petting her, and I could tell it spread. It's no longer just like along her spine. Now it's like coming down one side. And I was like, Bob, there's even more of it. Actually, I didn't say it to Bob. I said it to my daughter because he was sleeping. So while he was sleeping, I didn't care. I just called the vet. I was like, you know what? She might need some medicated shampoo or some steroid cream, or I don't know what this is. So I just want them to look at it and tell me what the heck is on her skin, because this is crazy. And, you know, is it going to keep growing until we put something on it, or, you know, treat it? Like, you know, her hair could fall out around it, and cause all these bald spots. And so I'm not messing around. I don't know if she's getting something at daycare. I don't know what the heck's going on, but this is the second Tuesday after her going to daycare that we have to take her to the vet, which is I mean, maybe she just can't go to daycare, although she loves it. Like, when he took her out today, she went right to the car because she wants to go to daycare. So it'd be sad if she can't, because it's a great way of her socializing and, you know. But I don't know what is going on with her skin. So that's the newest development with Mogie. Bob's like, this insurance company is going to drop you. He's like, every week at the vet. I don't know. All right. Oh, all right, guys. I think that's all of my updates. Look how beautiful that is. I'm going to turn this off. Can you see it? I thought this is a small square. I'd be able to finish it, but that's all color blocking over here. But man, this is a lot of confetti. You saw how many times I switched out my stuff? It's going to be a minute. So I think I'm going to end it there. Also, like, I'm so full. I think I need to just lay down. But that is all my updates for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on the way out. And if you want to see more from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the family and friends here at Kimbaskrafts. I would love to have you. I plan on recording my Bella Art Day Nicole review and kit down. And in that, I will go over all of my enhancements, as well as you guys will get to see the dress in all its glory, because it is so beautiful. I just love it. Did you see it already? I'm not sure, but I don't think you saw the whole thing. But yeah, I can't wait to show you. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Take care. Keep diamond painting.